Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Liliana, and on this channel we discuss history and literature related topics, so make sure to subscribe if that interests you. In today's video, we are going to be talking about university majors and minors and what it's like to have double majors and or double minors, which is what I have. I decided to make this video because I've been thinking about my senior year of high school, and I've been thinking about my friends who have had very different experiences with major selection than I have. In fact, I'm one of the few people in my various friend groups who hasn't changed their major since coming into university, and I think that's something that's worth talking about. So I decided to make this video talking about majors and what that's like in college, so that if any of you out there are thinking about changing a major or adding a minor or any of that stuff, you will have some information from my perspective at least. So to make this video, let's go all the way back to middle school, which in the wake of COVID seems like it was a million years ago, even though it was only like 6. Middle school was when I decided that I wanted to study history and literature, that's what I wanted to do with my life. So from that point onwards, I started taking advanced classes in English and in history in order to prepare myself for the day in which I would study these things in college, and in order to soak up as much information as possible in the subjects that I was passionate about. So when I was in my sophomore and junior year of high school, we started having a lot of yield reps coming in. Students from various universities, both in my state and across the country, who would go around and visit high schools and basically give us high school students the pep talk of why we should attend their university. They would always hand out these little flyers and business cards that would give more detailed information about their college, as well as the contact information that we needed if we wanted to talk to somebody from admissions. Those flyers really had a big impact on me, because even though I had known since middle school that I wanted to study English and history, obviously I didn't know at the time what a double major was or what a minor was or any of those things. And so as I started reading these pamphlets from these various universities, I discovered that you could add on all of these additional programs of study instead of just your one primary major. I have very vivid memories of every time that I would get a new pamphlet, either in the mail or at school. I would put it in my backpack and save it for later. And later on in the day, either at the school library or at my house, I would get a highlighter and I would highlight the majors that I was interested in, and I would put a star next to the ones that I was especially interested in. I discovered that not all universities had the same majors, and that some majors were very rare and could only be found in certain universities. I don't have any of those pamphlets with me today. I'm pretty sure that I threw them all out once I started attending college. But for the most part, the majors that I highlighted were things along the lines of creative writing, journalism, literature, English, philosophy, religious studies, archaeology, anthropology, classics, history, and I think one university even had a major in medieval studies, and I was pretty interested in that. I think starting in my junior year, I knew that I wanted to be a medievalist, which I still want to be. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that another one of the majors that I used to highlight was also art history. And then in my senior year of high school came the time for college applications. So on your college applications, after you put in all of your personal info, you have to select a major. And some applications will let you select more than one major. Some will only let you choose one. And most colleges have an undecided option if you don't know what you want to do yet. And I picked history for every single one of the colleges that I applied to because I knew that was what I wanted my primary area of study to be. And I decided that once I would get to that college and become more familiarized with graduation requirements and whatnot, I would decide if I wanted to add another major. I soon came to realize that my decisions were unique, that not many other people were doing them, because all of the friends that I had spoken to, both from school and outside of school, who were in my same age group, did very different things. Some of them put undecided majors, some of them put a different major for each school that they were applying to, and that's because they were attracted to different things from various universities. So obviously after the application process, we all got accepted to various universities, and picked a major. And I am one of the few people in my friend groups who still has their original major that they entered university with. So anyway, when I got to college, I was a history major, and I remained a history major for about 3 weeks or a month. And after that, I decided that I wanted to add an English major. And so I printed out the form and I filled it out and I took it to the head of the English department and she signed it. At the same time, I added my religious studies minor. It was a very spur of the moment decision. It wasn't something I had been planning on for a long time. In fact, religion as a minor or a major wasn't something that had been at the top of my list in high school, but throughout the years I found myself becoming more drawn and more attracted to the study of religion. And then 2 or 3 weeks ago, I added another minor in public history and museum studies. So now whenever I meet new people and they ask me what my major is, I have to say, "Hello, I am Liliana and I am double majoring in history and English and I am minoring in religious studies and public history." It's quite a mouthful. I know that for many of you who are listening to this sounds like an insane amount of work, and you guys are like, she's not gonna graduate in 4 years. No, in fact, it's gonna take her like 5 or 6 years to ever graduate from university. And that is not true. In fact, I will indeed graduate in 4 years. Let me tell you why. I said earlier in the video that I took several advanced placement courses in high school. These courses put me on an excellent trajectory for college, because by the time I entered, I already had several requirements fulfilled by the advanced placement exams, but the credit is by no means entirely mine. My university is more than generous when it comes to high school credits. In fact, there are some classes that I took in high school that don't count for 1 but 2 requirements. It's really given me a head start in my college career. Because of this, I can spend less time with my GEs and spend more time dedicating myself to the major. So that is why I have more free space to take on these additional majors and minors. So if you are a high school student and this sounds like something that you might want to do, I would recommend that you take classes during high school that would count for college credits later on, such as AP, IB, or community college classes over the summer, because it really does free up a ton of space for you once you get to college. Another one of the reasons that I'm able to take on so many majors and minors is because of strategy. Some of the courses that I take for one major also count for another major, and the university allows us to double dip and fulfill 2 requirements with 1 class. And it has honestly been so helpful, and it has made things so much easier for me in my planning for graduation. For example, my public history minor doesn't even count because all of the classes required for one to have a minor in public history are literally the same classes I have to take for the history major. So essentially, I didn't really add on another minor, I just took the title because I'm already fulfilling all of the requirements for it with my history major. What I'm really doing is maximizing the money spent on tuition at my university, because if I can get 2 degrees while essentially doing the work of 1, you best believe that yes, I am going to do it. For those of you out there who are considering adding a major or a minor, I do think it would be incredibly beneficial to look into the requirements of whatever it is that you're trying to add and see how many of those requirements overlap with the major that you already have. Once you see that, in fact, there might be several classes that are overlapping, suddenly it seems much more doable and much less stressful. And it'll definitely be an incentive to you for adding a major or a minor. I know that once I realized that for my public history minor, it definitely influenced my decision to add it on. And now we get to the question that I've been asked the most often, which is, why are you doing all of that? And I know that I've already explained that it's not really that difficult because many of the classes that I have to take overlap with each other, so they can doubly fulfill requirements, but that's not really the reason why I have so many majors and minors. The real reason is because I am in a very awkward position academically. For example, my school doesn't have a journalism major, and if a student wanted to come here and they would design their own major, probably taking classes from writing, English, political science, communication, and just take all of these classes from various different fields to create that unique program of study that fits them. I can't do that because the major that I want already exists at my school. But at the same time, I want to be an archivist, and the skills that you need for that aren't just satisfied by the history major alone. So I solved this problem by weaving in multiple majors and minors in order to get the best, most well-rounded experience, at least in my opinion, that will prepare me for graduate school and for my future career. As a historian, I want to study religious art from the medieval era, such as this one right here, or this one right here. As you can see, both of these pictures that I've showed you are writing. These are excerpts from hymn books or Bibles or personal prayer books, and to analyze them, I need the skills that come with an English major. In addition, these are religious texts, so in order to understand them, I have to understand religion and how it works in our society, hence the religious studies minor. And lastly, archivists usually work in libraries and in museums, which are open to the public for the public to learn about, hence the public history minor. So as you can see, I've brought in all of these classes and majors and minors into my orbit on purpose so that I can collect all of the skills necessary to go strong into graduate school. If you feel like your major doesn't necessarily satisfy all of the things that you might need for a future career choice, I would highly recommend looking into minors or other majors that have some of those things, so that you can collect all of this knowledge from various departments and get a more well-rounded education. If you don't want to add another major or minor, you can even take a class in a certain subject that you think will be helpful to you in the future. Of course, I'm only an undergraduate now, so I have no idea of knowing if the steps that I'm taking right now will actually serve me in the future, but somehow I think they will. Let me know in the comments what your majors are, or what they were if you're no longer at university, or what they're going to be if you haven't entered college yet. Always, thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see each other next week. Bye!